Okay, the title of this type of questions is more complicated of what it actually is. It says algebraic fractions with the pronumeral in the denominator. So it basically says what happens when the pronumeral is in the denominator. So how do we solve that? So very simple. Let's do a here. 3 over a is equal to 4 over 5. Okay, wonderful. So, as I said before, I can do with the denominator the inverse operations as well, okay, of everything. So I say, okay, what is the a, because it's in the denominator? I want to put it in the numerator. So I want to say what a is doing. A is dividing that 3. Agree? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times both sides by a. When I do that, I cancel this up, and then 3 equals 4a divided by 5. And in this case, I can see that I have a fraction that is multiplying the pronumeral. So when I do that, how can I inverse that? I multiply by the inverse of the fraction, 5 over 4, both sides, times 5 over 4. And this 5 goes away with this 5, and this 4 goes away with this 4. So this becomes 15 over 4, which is equal to a. And if we write this one, it's going to be 3 12 3/4. Girls, check, because as I said, I'm very tired today, but I think that's the answer. Wonderful. And then let's do b. B says 5 over b. Why b? I hated that here the a was next to this a, and now they have done the same thing. Blech. 5, I'm going to give myself a space. 5 over b is equal to -2. Okay, so I'm going to times by b both sides. When I do that, I cancel this up, and then I have 5 is equal to -2b, and then I'm going to divide both sides by -2 and -2. So this -2 and this -2 goes away, and then I have this one is -5 over 2 is equal to b. I always write the negative sign in the denominator. 5 over -2, whatever that is going to be negative, right? Because positive divided by negative is going to be negative. But I always put it in the denominator so that is very clear for me that is a negative fraction. Because sometimes when I put it in the denominator, I miss it, or some people put it next to the vinculum, and then they get confused if it's a continuation of the vinculum. So my suggestion is always put it in the denominator, and then this will be equal to 2.5 is going to be equal to b, and that's my answer. Wonderful. Now, I said that we were going to use solve for some of these. So let's check my answers now that I don't know. Let's do the first one with solve. So if we go to CAS, I'm just going to clear this up. So if I go to big document, clear Scratchpad. Thank you. Now type B, solve, and we are going to do 3 over a is equal to 4/5. And I'm solving, I have to say what I'm solving for, so I have to say comma, I'm solving for A, and then because I press control enter, sorry. Can I copy that? I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, if I highlight it again and I press enter, good. So I just highlight it and I press enter, and then it copies itself. So if I do enter, I find that it's 15/4. That was my answer here. And then it says that in decimal was 3 and 75, and 75 is 3/4. So that means that this answer is correct. 3 3/4. I'm going to investigate where do we change here from improper to proper. Wonderful, girls. So with this, we have finished the examples. You can do the questions. I'm going to set up a lot of questions. This doesn't mean that you have to do them all. Select a few ones and see how you're going. If you're struggling with certain type of questions, try to do more of those. This is only about practice, 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 practice. So the more that you can do, the better. But you have to regulate how much are you doing a day. So I don't want you telling me that you stay until 3 in the morning doing your homework, because that doesn't help. But if you can spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day and try to do a little bit and a little bit. It depends on how fit you are in your algebraic skills. If you need more practice, then do more. If you need less practice, then you do less. Okay, and hopefully I can give you feedback when I return from camp. Thank you, girls.